Have you ever sat in a quiet room after the grandkids left, or hung up the phone after talking to your grown child, and thought to yourself, was I a good parent today? Did I do enough? Did I say the right thing? You're not alone. That little voice of doubt? We all hear it sometimes. No matter how many years pass, being a parent is still one of the most emotional, beautiful, and, let's be honest, complicated roles we'll ever play. Now, if you're here, you're probably someone who still takes that role seriously. Maybe you're caring for grandchildren, maybe you're helping your adult children navigate their own parenting journey, or maybe you're just reflecting and want to grow. And that's a powerful thing, because parenting doesn't stop when your children grow up. It simply evolves. Confidence as a parent isn't about having all the answers. It's about feeling steady in your decisions, secure in your presence, and knowing that you're still a vital, capable, and loving influence in your family's life. And the beautiful thing is, confidence isn't just something you're born with. It's something you build, day by day, habit by habit. So today, let's talk about that. We're going to walk through 7 simple daily habits that can help you feel more confident as a parent, no matter your age, no matter your family situation. These aren't big, life-changing events. They're small things. Gentle shifts. Thoughtful practices that, when done regularly, have the power to make you feel more grounded, more at peace, and yes, more confident. Let's begin with something very close to the heart, the habit of listening without rushing to respond. This might sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful habits you can build. You see, as we get older, we've seen a lot. We've learned lessons the hard way, and it's natural to want to share our wisdom. But sometimes, when our children or grandchildren come to us with a problem or an idea, our first instinct is to offer a solution, quickly. To fix it. To correct them. To jump in with what we think they need to hear. But confident parenting, especially in this season of life, means creating space. Letting them speak. Listening, not just to the words, but to the feelings behind the words. Maybe your daughter is struggling to juggle work and motherhood. Maybe your grandson is frustrated at school. When we give them room to open up, without immediately giving advice, we're telling them, I trust you to figure this out, and I'm here with you. That kind of quiet support builds trust. It strengthens connection. And it reinforces your own sense of calm leadership. So try this, the next time someone comes to you with something, pause. Nod. Say, tell me more. And just listen. You'd be amazed how much that one habit can shift the whole tone of your relationships. Now let's talk about the second habit, which might surprise you. It's starting each day with a small act of self-kindness. You might be wondering, what does that have to do with being a confident parent? The answer is, everything. Because how we treat ourselves directly affects how we treat the people we love. Confidence doesn't come from being constantly busy or putting everyone else first all the time. It comes from feeling whole within ourselves. And one of the fastest ways to feel whole is to begin your day with just one kind gesture, to yourself. It could be something simple like sitting quietly with a warm cup of tea before the house wakes up. It might be stretching for 5 minutes, reading something uplifting, or even saying a few kind words to yourself in the mirror. Yes, I know it sounds a little silly, but you'd be amazed how powerful it is to hear yourself say, I'm doing my best. I'm still growing. I am a good parent. That small moment of grounding first thing in the morning sets the tone for how you respond to challenges, how you interact with your family, and how you carry yourself throughout the day. When you nourish yourself, you have more patience, more clarity, more strength. So don't skip it. Self-kindness isn't selfish, it's the foundation of confident care. And then, there's the third habit, one that touches every corner of our lives, whether we notice it or not. It's the habit of letting go of perfection. Now this one might be the toughest of all. Because we've lived long enough to see our share of mistakes, maybe we've made a few of them ourselves. And sometimes, the older we get, the more we look back with that harsh little voice whispering, if only I had done things differently. But perfection was never the goal. Presence was. Love was. Think about this. Your child doesn't remember whether the house was spotless every day. They remember if you smiled when they walked in the door. Your grandchild won't remember if you cooked the perfect dinner. They'll remember that you sat with them, asked about their day, and really listened. Confidence grows when we stop trying to be flawless and start embracing who we are, with all the beauty and imperfections that come with it. You've done more than enough. And every day you show up, every moment you choose love over fear, connection over control, you're building the kind of parenthood that matters most. So, as you move through your day today, I want you to carry this with you. You are not too old to grow. You are not too late to make a difference. You are not finished being a parent. And most importantly, you are allowed to be kind to yourself along the way. Now that we've touched on these first few habits that help you connect deeply, care gently, and carry yourself with compassion, let's keep going and talk about something that's just as important as listening or letting go of perfection. It's the daily habit of staying curious, especially about your children's world. Now, I know, it's easy to feel a bit disconnected these days. The world your children or grandchildren are growing up in might feel so different from the one you knew. Technology changes every few months. People speak in abbreviations. And sometimes, it's tempting to throw up our hands and say, I just don't understand the way things are anymore. But here's the truth, curiosity is the bridge between generations. And confident parenting, even later in life, isn't about having all the answers. It's about staying interested in who your children are becoming. That might mean asking your granddaughter about the music she listens to, even if it's not your style. It could mean learning a little about a new app your son is using to help with his kid's school schedule. Or simply saying, I'd love to know more about that, can you show me? You don't have to master the latest technology or agree with every modern trend. But when you stay curious, you show your family that they matter to you, not just who they were as children, but who they are now. And something beautiful happens when you do this, the conversations get deeper. Your children stop feeling like they have to teach you everything and start inviting you into their world instead. That builds confidence, not just in you, but in your relationship. You feel more connected, more informed, and more involved in a way that feels natural and respectful. Now, let's take a moment to talk about something that can feel even more personal, the habit of speaking kindly to yourself, especially when things don't go perfectly. We all make mistakes. We all have days where we say something we wish we hadn't, or we feel like we didn't show up the way we wanted to. And the temptation is strong to beat ourselves up over it. That little voice in your head might say, I should have known better, or why can't I just get this right? But let me ask you something. Would you ever speak to your child or grandchild the way you sometimes speak to yourself? Of course not. So why not offer yourself the same grace? Confidence doesn't come from being hard on yourself. It grows when you treat yourself with the same compassion you offer others. That means when you slip up, instead of scolding yourself, take a breath and say, I didn't get that quite right today, but I'm learning. And I'm still showing up. Try making it a daily habit to notice your inner voice. When you feel doubt creeping in, pause and replace it with something true and kind. Even something as simple as, I'm doing my best, and that is enough, can shift your entire mindset. Over time, this small practice reshapes how you see yourself, not as someone trying to be perfect, but as someone who is committed, present, and human. And while we're talking about showing up, let's move into another powerful habit, celebrating the small wins. It's easy to overlook the little things, especially in parenting. Maybe you had a tough day, but you still called your child to check in. Maybe you babysat the grandkids and got through dinner without a meltdown on either end. Maybe you simply offered a kind word when your adult child was stressed. Those things count. They matter. And they deserve to be noticed. Confident parents aren't just focused on the big milestones. They recognize the value of daily, quiet victories. They give themselves credit, not in a bragging way, but in a gentle, affirming way. Every evening, take a few moments to ask yourself, what did I do well today? Maybe you made someone laugh. Maybe you practiced patience. Maybe you just kept going, even when you felt tired. When you notice those wins, you train your brain to see your value. You remind yourself that you're still showing up, still learning, still contributing to your family in meaningful ways. And that builds a sense of peace, a quiet confidence that says, I may not have all the answers, but I know I'm making a difference. This also makes it easier to offer the same encouragement to your children. When you're aware of your own small wins, you naturally start to notice and appreciate theirs, too. That positive energy spreads. It builds stronger bonds. And most of all, it helps you step into your role with more pride, more joy, and more love. So, as we go about our day, let's carry this reminder with us, staying curious, speaking kindly to ourselves, and celebrating the little moments aren't just habits, they're ways of honoring who we are as parents. They remind us that confidence doesn't come from control. It comes from connection. From paying attention. From showing up, not perfectly, but authentically. And those small choices we make, day after day, they have a ripple effect. They create warmth in our families. They keep us rooted in love. And they help us walk through this season of life with our heads held high, knowing we still matter in the lives of the people we love. You know, it's funny how something as simple as a few small habits can shift how you feel about yourself. Confidence doesn't always arrive in a grand moment. More often, it sneaks in quietly through the way we speak to ourselves, the way we show up for our family, the way we hold space for growth, ours and theirs. And when those habits start to stack up, day after day, they create something powerful, a steady sense of self. A feeling that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Now let's talk about another habit that brings that kind of confidence closer to home. It's something many of us overlook, especially when we're busy caring for others. But it's essential, staying engaged with something just for you. It might seem unrelated at first. How does a hobby or interest help with parenting confidence? But the truth is, when you nourish your own curiosity, creativity, or sense of purpose, you bring a fuller version of yourself into your relationships. Maybe you enjoy gardening, or writing letters, or attending a weekly class. Maybe you love reading about history, or painting, or volunteering in your community. Whatever it is, when you give yourself permission to grow outside of your parenting role, you gain energy. You gain perspective. You also model something powerful for your children and grandchildren, that life doesn't stop at 60, 70, or beyond. That there's always more to learn, to feel, to enjoy. And when you feel lit up from within, when you're doing something that brings you joy, you show up as a parent with more clarity, more calm, and more balance. It also helps when parenting feels tough. Maybe your child is going through something hard and you don't know what to say. Or your grandchild is changing so quickly, and you're not sure how to relate. Having a strong inner world, your own joy, your own outlets, gives you a steady place to return to. It keeps your identity strong, even when your role is shifting. And finally, there's one more habit that might just be the most powerful of all. It's the habit of reminding yourself, daily, that you matter. Not because of what you've done. Not because of how perfectly you've parented. But simply because of who you are. It's easy to feel invisible as you get older. Society doesn't always shine a light on the wisdom and quiet strength that comes with age. But here, right now, I want you to hear this: your presence matters. Your experience matters. The way you show up, the way you love, the way you steady your family even in the background, it all matters more than you know. So say it to yourself when you wake up in the morning. Write it on a sticky note. Whisper it before you go to bed. I matter. Not as someone who has to do everything or fix everything, but as someone who brings wisdom, steadiness, and heart into their family's life. Confidence grows when we stop waiting for outside validation and start giving it to ourselves. When we trust that our story is still unfolding. When we believe that we still have something beautiful to offer, just by being who we are. So if you've ever looked at yourself and wondered, am I doing enough? Am I still needed? The answer is yes. You are still needed. You are still making a difference. And the habits you've been practicing, listening deeply, offering self-kindness, staying curious, celebrating small wins, letting go of perfection, keeping a piece of life just for you, they all add up. They don't make you perfect. They make you present. They make you connected. And most of all, they make you confident. You don't have to raise your voice to lead. You don't have to do it all to be a good parent. You just have to keep showing up, with love, with presence, and with a little more grace each day. So as we wrap up today's video, I want you to take a deep breath. Smile. Feel that quiet strength within you. You've come so far, and you're still growing. You're still loving. You're still parenting in the most meaningful way. If something in this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share a moment in the comments, big or small, that reminded you of your confidence as a parent. Or maybe a lesson you've learned over the years that helped you grow into the role even more. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We're building a warm, supportive space here, where your wisdom is honored, your voice is welcome, and your journey matters. Here's to living with confidence, connection, and joy, no matter what age we are. You've still got so much to give. And your family is lucky to have you. Until next time, take care and be kind to yourself. You deserve it.